Okay, I'm fixing to do a video here. Several of my friends have said that I've got them a little confused, which I can understand how I keep myself confused. And some of the people who watch my videos are saying I'm constantly changing methods and technique, which is true. And I started napping when I was 14. We used a hammerstone and a whitetail antler, and that was it. And over the years, I got real good at it. And if you went back in a nap in and whenever they started having them, I don't even know, I ain't gonna say 70s or maybe a little earlier, I don't know. Uh, if you'd done something different, uh, there was a guy by the name of Charlie Shuey, and if he was standing there, he would jerk it out of your hand and say, wait a minute, they didn't do it like this, this is the way they did it. So we thought that's the way everything was done, and that piece just fell out. This piece got too hot, it's got pot lids all in it. We're gonna go ahead and work with it, we'll probably break it, but who cares? Just trying to do a demo and show you something. But anyway, I was using different methods. And I did use just antler and hammerstone, what we call elbow. And then I started using square, flat copper uh, paddle handles, we call them. You don't see that anymore. A guy by the name of Jim Regan come up with that idea. He was using them, was getting them out of electrical boxes, bus bars or something like that they were calling them. But then we started using round copper. And so I adjusted all of that. D.C. Waldor, when I was using just the antler, they come out with a book on masters at fluting points, and there's another deal from that pot lid, and making dolphins and things like that. And Valerie drew one of the pictures of a point I made and put it in the master's book that she got, and I didn't know she was going to do it until she called me and said she already had it all put together. I'm not a master at anything. Maybe eating would be the only thing I'd be close to being a master at. And I guess because I stay fat, I couldn't claim that either. But I don't know of anybody I consider a master flint knapping. And I'm not near as good as most of them, or better than a lot of them, but to me, a master flint knapper would be somebody that almost put his whole life in it like I have, but studying different styles from foreign countries and all over the world, making Danish daggers and gun flints and axe heads and stuff like that, and Clovises and Cumberlands and flake over grinding. He mastered all that stuff extremely well. And if that was the case, I'd be tooting my horn. But I hadn't mastered anything. I'm telling you, I hadn't even mastered a regular flint knife. I'm a long way from it. I would never attempt to call myself that. But back to what I was saying, I got off track. They said, we're seeing you now hit on the side of your billet like I'm doing, just like this. I'm coming down hitting on the side. And they said, used to you would hit in like this. I said, well, a few years ago, I was out in Texas digging in a campsite and found these super thin points, and I put on Facebook on my page. I'm going to try to figure out how they did it. If anybody's interested, I'm going to help me and join in. And I got people writing in, we all see the way this guy does and this guy. So I was going to Alabama and Georgia a lot, and somebody told me about Eddie Lee Bowler. And I met Eddie Lee, and he was taking a solid copper bar like this, and he was hitting on the side of it. Not this way, but on the side of it, just like this. He'd come down, and he was driving. That was an overshot. I mean, it was unbelievable. He was driving plates all the way across this joker. And so I said, well, he must really be on to something. So I went home, and I got his technique, and I started practicing with it, and I couldn't figure my angles, and I'd want to turn like this instead of coming down, and I just started messing up, and I do this for a living, and whoa, my door just blew shut. Got a storm coming up. Sorry about that. It kind of scared me. But anyway, when I'd have spare time and I'd get caught up, I would play with it. And I said, you know, it works pretty good. So I never mastered it. I just basically learned the basics of it. So then I heard about a guy in Texas. Somebody said, man, there's a guy in Texas named Jason Newman, and he does indirect percussion. Well, he's not the first person I've seen do indirect percussion. And then if you're still around that was napping in the 80s, 1980s, there was a guy named Ted Frank. I think Ted was from Tennessee, I could be wrong. And Ted was doing indirect percussion. And there again, and I promise you it wasn't me, but a bunch of guys laughed at him and said, that's not the way they did it, Ted. And Ted had a screwdriver-like deal, and he laid it across his lap, and he laid his preform right there, and he would hit it. So we never pursued it because we put in our minds that's not the way it was done. We were real smart, and we knew everything. We didn't know nothing. I still don't know nothing. So when I went to see Jason Newman and watched him nap, and there again, I went to his house too, he can tell you. I met him, went to his house and watched him nap. I was amazed at the indirect percussion. But guess what? He wasn't using indirect percussion to thin them to a certain stage. This is what he was using. He was using the flat end of a copper bar. This is plastic, I'm just explaining it to you. And he would hit the very flat end like that. And then later on, he started using the flat end of a piece of aluminum. I beveled it on the side like he did, so the striking surface was a little smaller. Also, this was in bad. Oh! Glad we didn't lose anything, boys and girls. Let's see if I can get it back up there. So sorry about that. I guess that's good enough. It looks good. I'm sorry about that. But he was using the aluminum, and I was going to reach over and he keeps it filed. I need to go file mine. I got a belt sander. But you won't keep it smooth, and this one's rough, it's not smooth. And what he would do, he would take the piece and he'd hit on it like that. And he was driving some amazing plates off. He comes in, watch his videos. Jason Newman, that's his video. So I started using this method, playing around, and I said, you know, the scar pattern on those Texas points, the plate patterns look like just like these here on the stuff he's got. And the wind blowing my phone off. I'm sorry about that. I got both doors open so I can get some air flowing through here. And the wind is literally, I'm gonna have to shut a door or something, because the wind is literally blowing this phone off his table this time. And I think it did it last time because I didn't think I touched it. I don't recall touching it. I might have did. But maybe that's a little better angle anyway right there. I don't know how to stop that wind. I got to have something to keep this dust out. But anyway, this was Jason Newman's method. So I started using it. That's what's getting everybody confused. So this is what I want you to know. I haven't learned Jason's yet. I'm still playing with it. Then Jason uses indirect percussion. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm still playing with it. But what I do know is I've learned how to use Eddie Main's hollow bopper. Now I hit it that time. Billet. And by using it, I've gotten real good at thinning stuff because I stuck with it and I figured it out. Now, I'm going to figure out indirect percussion in sooner or later, but right now, this is my go-to. So my friends are saying, well, why don't you do that when you're doing videos? The videos are because I'm trying to show you different techniques out there, and you find the one that works for you. Different strokes for different folks, as the old saying goes. You might not like any kind of percussion work. You might want to do flake over grinding. I haven't done flake over grinding in 30 years. I started out a long, long time ago when James first come to Texas, and James Stapleton took a video of it. He was doing flake over grinding, and I got me grinding wheel, and I started fooling with it. I didn't care for it myself. It took too long to prepare the preform and platform or whatever, and I had to changed the diamond wheel grits, and it was just slow for me, and I got away from it. Make beautiful points. You can't duplicate the beauty of the points by doing that. But this is my go-to, I'm telling you. And what I like about this so much is you do not have to hit hard at all. And I'm gonna get down here on this end and get it real thin. And we're not gonna thin this whole thing, we'll just thin the ends so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, I'm just gonna, watch this. Barely come down like that. Halfway across. Halfway across. Halfway across. So this is not wearing my arm out, man. I was using 4 and 5 pound hammers. I got one hammer that's 12 pounds. This big thing here is probably 3 or 4 pounds. And boy, at night time after it's falling 200 or 300 pounds of rock, my tin knife would be killing me. But with this, now right here I'm gonna hit a little harder because I had a big hump to move. But that's all it is to it. And I thought I died and went to heaven when I figured this out because it's so easy on my body. And see, I know they didn't have PCV pipes and they didn't have hollow gas caps, but it's working and I don't care because I'm hurting and it takes the pain away. You can't do any better than that, folks, I'm telling you. And another thing I found out about it, it's real important to reduce size, so I'm going to a smaller size. As you get thinner, this is extremely important. And when you get out here on the tip, I'm not going to do it now, but I like to isolate them with a pressure flaker. I'm going to show you something. I hold it almost straight up, and I come down just like this. I missed it now, so you can see how easy I'm coming down, and I'm going to line up on it. Plate went halfway across. Oh, and I did a little too hard grinding right there. I'm having a hard time with my grinding because I've always ground real hard. The only time you need to grind aggressive or hard on the point, as I'm going to show you right now, is when you're starting out and it's real thick, like this. Something real thick. I'm not gonna grind. I see guys just keep grinding and grinding. But trust me, when you start getting it real thin, one brush. Watch your people that flake over grind. They take sandpaper, 320 grit sandpaper, one brush. Because that edge is so thin, you don't want to break it. And if it's thick, you got to hit it real hard to break it. And the harder you hit it, you're increasing your odds of breaking it. Now that's my theory on it. But I know all of Timothy Mullen, Tim Mullen, all the other people do flake over grind, they do just like that with sandpaper. Now watch this. Barely touched it and it came out right there. This is gonna come out right here. This one went right through there and I got one in the center. I like to do 2. Leave me a little island, there it went. And then we'll come back up here. I'm hitting these pretty hard here. I'm grinding twice because I got a big hump I got to come up. Not there thin on this side. So I want to get me a nice platform built there. Right now then, we're going to do indirect percussion. This is what I really want to learn. And I'm going to hope I have more time this summer and spring to practice with it, because I practice this all the time. And I also use, I'm learning to use different weight handles and stuff like this, but I'm starting to have pretty good success with it. I can't put it under my leg, it cuts the circulation off or something, I don't know. I just hate something wrapped around my leg. So I just stick it right here under my belly button, not my belly button, my belly flap. it kind of lean over and it makes it tight when it lean over. And I drive the plates off. Now, when I get it to a certain stage, I'm trying to make a needle point on here for you. When I get it to a certain stage, and watch this, just one little while, I go to the lightest hammer I can find, and it says hollow copper bopper. So I'll take my piece of copper, I put it on my belly flap, and I get down here, and I put that on it, and I still just barely hit it. It runs that plate went, I'm gonna show you. I'm even telling you, I can show you. That plate like the eighth of an inch going halfway across. All the way across, I mean, not halfway, all the way across. Same thing there. Now, we're gonna try to make a needle point, and this will be over with. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you telling others about my videos. And I'll always tell you I'm no expert. I teach lessons free. I went all the way to Dallas, Texas to see Mr. J.B. Stahlberger nap, learned from him years ago. I wanted to learn it so bad, I sold stuff I didn't want to sell to get money for gas to go places to watch people. So that's how bad I want to learn how to do it. All right, we're going to set it right here, and I'm going to lightly tap it. Plate went over 3/4 of the way. That went almost all the way across, just like just a calf. And I'm barely tapping it. I'm gonna come back on this side, do the same thing. That right here, same thing, same thing. I'm not even grinding it now. I'm coming off the sharp edge of these deltas because I don't have to run the plate very far. No grinding at all. You sit there and watching it. Now, this thing's kind of like a propeller, kind of bent. I don't know if I'm getting too close. I need to get further back. Let's see how that works. It curls this way, but can you see how thin that thing is right in there? I mean, that's thin. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.